Hey guys, we're here at University City. There's U Sciences, UPenn, Drexel University. We bought this house completely burned out for $330,000. It was not an easy project, but it turned out to be a perfect burn method. We invested roughly $250,000, so we were all in at $580,000. This house is valued at $1.2 million now. We have a Swift lane access. It recognizes your face. You can put a PIN code, see my name, boom, doors unlocks, mag locks. We have the lock box. This is a mixed use, commercial at the bottom, residential on top. Fire alarm panel. It took us roughly 2 years from the time we purchased it, because it took us to get variants, renovations, rent the entire place out. It took us a while. Once we renovated the place, before renovating fully, I always think of a creative way how we can save money for the tenants and for us. So right here, I'm gonna give you guys one of the perks I do in every single multi-unit residential commercial. I install a fire system. This is full network. It goes into every single unit. Camera system for outside. Internet provider, 1 gigabyte. So people don't have to drill through the walls. You're gonna have rat, incest, all kinds of issues. People running, like tenants move out. They go from one tenant, went from Verizon then to Comcast. You see all those holes. You don't need to do that, especially college students. When they hear free internet, that's like, they don't have to sign on the leases on the name, none of that. It's perfect. The house is in amazing condition because of that. Trust me, it's worth every penny. We pay roughly $100 every single point in the building, get internet connections. And some tenants like, oh, I don't want to be on your network. Guess what? You can put in another router, create your own network with your own protection password. So this is all the custom railings. It was done all on site. Fire hydrant, you'll notice that I put it on every single floor. This is for safety. Pull it out, and just in case of fire, boom. Even though this entire place is fire rated, double sheetrock on every single wall. So let's go in the basement. I'll show you guys washer and dryer and utility room. So this basement is a finished basement, and you can count this towards the square footage of the building because you have an egress window. Once you install this, and there's a way for them to go out, you can claim this as square footage. Also fire hydrant, I put a common bathroom for people to use. So this is actually a good example of the bathroom not to use. Remember I was talking about one piece? Guess what? My guy installed a 2-piece. So I'm gonna be giving them a call. This is the stuff, look, over time, it might not leak right now, but over time, it'll start leaking depending on how much use there is. Do not install this at properties, especially heavy use properties. This is washer and dryer. This is what we use. Remember I was telling you about Whirlpool? This is a great company. The only company that's better than this is Speed Queen, but Speed Queen is very expensive. The difference between commercial, even though it looks ugly, commercial washer and dryer, they don't go bad. You can go run it over and over and over and over. They never overheat, there's no issues. It's like a workhorse. Because if you buy the LG machines, the regular, not the commercial, the regular home, the pretty ones, they will break. So this is coin operator, and then guess what? We use ShinePay for credit card processing. You scan it, you download the app, you scan it, boom, you pay, because people are having a hard time getting quotas now. We made it cheap because we're not trying to make money of the tenants here. We just want to break even on the machine. We're not making money on this. Some of the buildings we have it more expensive because we are making money on that. This is the utility room. This is my favorite part. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Boom. So this is a standard central air. We use Goldmine because it's fairly cheap. This supplies all the common area in the building. This is hot water tanks. Every property has, except the commercial space, all the residentials. Gas meters. All of them are new as well. It's coming from the city. This is all the meters. So that's one of the things. It's like, all right, what's the point of having a disconnect switch? Somebody might ask.
What?
No. This is how people do it. The old way of doing it, the wrong way of doing it, the cheap way of doing it. What people do from this meter, they would put electrical boxes, right? With all the breakers and all those little wires that go up to upstairs, 3rd floor, 2nd floor. That's too long of a run. Instead of running that, I'm running a thick cable, which is 100 amps. I'm running it all the way to the unit. And then because there's a distance more than 10 feet from the meter itself to the electrical panel, more than 10 feet, you gotta put a disconnect switch. That's electrical law. There's people that write NEC, they write the rules and regulations. As an electrical engineer, I would read this book. And I just happen to know. I would design buildings like this. I worked as an engineer for 12 years. I would design buildings like that, specifically electrical with the transformers and stuff. We would put elevators. This building doesn't have an elevator. If it does, you put a transformer. So it's pretty neat. That's a bus bar. So a huge cable comes in into the bus bar and splits up to all of them. So that's a fire alarm system. That's a huge water line comes in case of fire. It automatically gets turned on. So it's always on, and then you can pull it up to turn it off. So if it senses any fire, the water comes from the city. It's gonna come from straight from the city and sprinkle. The old way of doing it is you put a huge tank of water. It'll be a massive tank, and then you just in case of fire, it'll just sprinkle your way. But then what if the tank runs out of water? Because the city's not running out of water. It has plenty of water. This is gas heaters are a lot more efficient than electric as far as the cost, probably at least 40% more efficient. So if you have a chance to put gas, hot water tanks, put gas hot water tanks. But the only issue is the smell of carbon monoxide in the basement. There's a way to reduce that by buying special units. I'll leave it in the descriptions which ones to buy. You see the pipe is small and it goes directly outside. We did fire installation, and actually you can see right here, every 12 feet, we put this fire installation. When the fire gets, this prevents us from going further, so it slows it down. So that's caulking, so no air can get to. You can see it because it's exposed, but this is not finished, so you don't have to do it. So anyway it's finished, it's literally air sealed with the foam, fire foam insulation. So this is not your typical insulation, that's fire insulation. So everything is teared apart. There's nothing that's old inside the building.
It was not insulated, I guess.
Yeah, so we tore it down completely. Floor, subfloor, framing, fire insulation. Then we have sound insulation. There's a separate sound insulation between floors because we don't want tenants calling us, the guy's upstairs is too loud. In between the units, it's double sheetrock from every side. So instead of putting one, we're putting two, and then another unit, 2 and 2. So it's super soundproof, fireproof installations because every sheetrock adds 15 minutes of fire resistance. So for the fire to get to, it takes 15 minutes longer. So whenever you put double and double from each side, so that's a 1 hour of protection from fire. So even if there's fire, it's still gonna get to the other side. It's just gonna take longer. So if you have a fire in one unit, technically, the other unit have up to 2 hours of fire.
What about energy efficiency? Did you insulate it for the winter?
Yes, winter insulation comes from the exterior walls. That's similar to sound insulation, but they're slightly different. So that's an exterior wall, and we put, I believe it's 18 inches insulation. So that's slightly different, yeah. That's a sump pump. If the water gets in the basement, it pumps it out all of that to the city. And you see it's air sealed insulation. I can't show it to you.